Hi everyone, good evening, good Monday, welcome back, and Happy New Year, all rolled into one sentiment. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of the program this wintry fourth day of January. Didn't know when I was going to get to say the W word, but indeed made up for it today with some blustery winds, some blowy snow, some near whiteout conditions that did cause some traffic problems, mind you. That will be one of our first stories of many this evening. In all, we'll cover an accident just shortly after ringing in the new year involving two patrol cars, a city police cruiser and a constable's cruiser that collided literally right in front of our studio. The action caught on our surveillance video, as well as some information and video from the scene as well. And also those snow-related accidents that took place earlier today, whiteout conditions. Most everyone getting in on the blustery snow, but not all. It was a little hit and miss. It was hit for myself and my family. The kids at least traveling down 114 today, and nearly a hit in other ways, literally. Nevertheless, we'll take you out and take you about and see what's been happening weather-wise. I've got highlights for you from Saturday night's Johnson Central Hornet matchup and a little bit of information about tonight's Lady Hornet game at home, mind you, and a whole lot of other news and information. We'll begin right now out of Johnson County, where it was a Martin County murder back in 2013, a case transferred to the Johnson County court system, where today a family member accused of killing two members of his family, two people, has now been found guilty and sentenced to 30 years in prison after admitting to killing two members of his own family. Ori Spence of Martin County pleaded guilty this past November to taking the life of his cousin as well as his cousin's wife in November of 2013 in their Tomahawk home, where they were both found shot to death, they being 40-year-old Edgar Hendrick and his wife, 37-year-old April. After the discovery, Spence was ultimately charged with murder, tampering with physical evidence, and being a persistent felony offender. The case was in Johnson County and concluded there with sentencing earlier today after a change of venue. Edgar Hendrick, once again, and his wife, April Sunshine Hendrick, were the victims, and it's believed that their relationship, or at least hers, with Spence may have been a motive for the shootings. Authorities believing that he contracting hepatitis from a relationship that he was having with his cousin's wife might have been responsible for him taking their lives by shooting them in their home. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison for each murder charge. However, those sentences are to run concurrently, meaning that he is to serve 30 years in prison for their deaths. Of course, have your first forecast of the year in just a few moments and a whole lot of headlines in between. But for now, let's go outside, take a look at some blustery snow and some of the problems it caused, and indeed the very first measurable snowfall of the year. Some folks getting close to 3/4 of an inch, and some folks seeing it only for a few moments as it was gone nearly as quickly as it came. Indeed, and some would say, finally, our first measurable snowfall. This was the last chart we looked at, where as of the 29th of December, we knew we'd already set a record, not knowing that it would take until January the 4th to set a new record, the latest measurable snowfall in Jackson and at the London office as well of the National Weather Service. We'll see how many years that one stands. And, of course, it was all put off or delayed by a very strong El Nino, record warmth in December, which, of course, we covered. And then it all happened largely due to a cold front making a run to the southeast from the Great Lakes, carrying wintry weather that the season has been void of to date. It came, it was gone in an instant, and almost as though it never happened. However, it did leave behind some aftermath. It was a quick, albeit heavy snow that resulted in some bad conditions for a while. Factor in some winds, 5 to 15, which made it feel like it was in the 20s. Well, it made for a very wintry morning. It also made for a teaching lesson for this dad of a new driver. As I was actually in the passenger seat coming back from the dentist with Lacey and Andrew this morning, I let my permitted driver take to the snow for just a little bit until that snow quickly became packed and then turned into slick and hazardous conditions. And while I don't have it on video because
because that was when I was behind the wheel and not behind the camera. We did switch the driver's seat and the passenger seat just at the top of the Ivington Hill, and at the very bottom of that, just a few hundred yards later, we came into, well, I can't say contact, but we came into view of a Crown Victoria coming in the oncoming direction right at our vehicle, spinning out of control wildly. Fortunately, it did not hit anything. No other vehicles were involved, but it was a good teaching lesson that I can chalk it up to for my 16-year-old driver. But look at whiteout conditions, and those road conditions did cause some problems, including an accident on the Mountain Parkway, actually 2 related accidents on the Mountain Parkway.
That wreck, or should I say wreck, involved 3 different vehicles: a Toyota Camry, a driver from Jeffersontown, a Dodge pickup truck, the driver of which from West Liberty stopped to assist the driver of the Camry in case he was injured, and then a third vehicle, another pickup truck, a white Chevrolet, which too lost control like the Toyota and collided with the pickup truck that had actually stopped to help.
There are actually 3 cars involved in this scene, but not all colliding with each other. The initial crash, if you will, happened when a Toyota Camry, a driver from Jeffersontown, was traveling on the Mountain Parkway and lost control of his vehicle while traveling west. It struck a guardrail and was sitting on the side of the Mountain Parkway, as you see here, when another vehicle, then a black Dodge pickup, a truck driven by an operator out of West Liberty, came upon that accident and then stopped and pulled over in front of the Camry to make sure that the driver and or passengers were okay. It is at that time that another pickup truck, a white Chevy that was traveling towards Pike County in the opposite direction from the Lexington and Stanton area, encountered slick roads from the blast or burst of snowfall and went into a slide and then collided with a pickup truck. The white truck hitting the black Dodge, which is stopped to check on the Toyota Camry. The collision sending the white Chevy up onto the guardrail, hanging on by one of the rear tires and doing serious damage to the black Dodge. It's also the belief of responding police officer Jonathan Holbrook of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department and others that that black Dodge sitting there may have very well saved the life or serious injury of the driver of the Toyota Camry, as the black Dodge absorbed the impact from the oncoming white Chevy and not the small passenger car. The driver and occupants of the Camry and the black Dodge refused medical treatment. 2 occupants in the white Chevy were taken to an area hospital. But that's not the only auto accident that we have to cover tonight.
An Eastern Kentucky mother's condition improved just enough for her to be released from the hospital, but only to attend services for her little 4-year-old daughter. Little Nevaeh Bauer was laid to rest today as her mother, her brother, and other family members were able to attend.
Pamela Kendrick Bauer and her little 5-year-old boy, Braden, were the only 2 to survive that tragic Christmas Eve crash that claimed 4 lives, 3 members of the Bauer family, as well as a local Montgomery County man who was operating the other vehicle. A Christmas Eve crash that claimed 4 lives, forever changing several local families. 52-year-old Roland Patrick, who passed away that night, as well as Sandy Bauer, her daughter Andrea, and her granddaughter, little Nevaeh Bauer. Nevaeh's mother made it out of the hospital just in time to attend services for her little girl. She was, I'm told, in a wheelchair, bound by a broken hip, a broken femur, and other injuries, but after being brought out of her medically induced coma, she was able to attend services for her daughter alongside other members of her family, as well as her small son, Braden Bauer, who was released from the hospital just a few days after the crash.
I've still got some other headlines to come, including highlights from this weekend's matchup of the Golden Eagles and the Hornets as they travel to Johnson Central. And we'll talk about tonight's Lady Hornet matchup, when and where, and that's where we're headed, of course, as well. But right now, it's another auto accident, unlike any other that I have covered here, and that's saying a great deal. In over 17 years of reporting behind this desk, I have reported on some auto accidents very near to this desk. This will be the first that I have done so that was literally caught on our surveillance cameras. It was just shortly after ringing in the new year that 2 patrol cars were involved in a 2-car collision just outside my door.
Less than 90 minutes into the new year and just 15 minutes before Sagersville police officer Mike Nichols' shift was scheduled to end, he was, he says, turning into Cooper Drive, apparently to turn around, and was struck in the rear by McGoffin County Constable James Rudd's Ford Crown Victoria. Cooper Drive happens to be almost directly across from my studio and is also in the view of one of my security cameras.
It was just extra patrol due to it being New Year's Eve. He had noticed one of the other police officers had a vehicle pulled over, and to my understanding, he was going to turn around and come back and help him. When I got on the scene, he was still in the car. The fire department was setting up to extricate him from the vehicle. They had to use the jaws of life. He was complaining that his left side was numb. The side airbags did deploy, and he was taken to Pikeville Methodist Hospital where they did, medically cleared him, and he's at home recuperating.
Given the fact that both a city and a county-operated vehicle were both involved, the Kentucky State Police was called in to work the accident, questioning both drivers to try to determine fault. While both cruisers were headed out of town and traveling in the same direction on Route 40, skid marks show that Rudd attempted to stop his vehicle to avoid the crash while he was in the oncoming lane of travel. And this surveillance video shows the point of impact. The first clip is played in real time. You can see to the top left of your screen the headlights as Nichols' car approaches and starts to initiate the turn, and then the point of impact. The second clip is also played in real-time speed, but at a closer-up view to show you in more detail, even though it is grainier the more magnified it becomes, nevertheless, of the crash. A third view is also in a close-up angle, but it is in a 25% speed of real time. It's not shown in this portion of video, but 29 seconds before the collision, there was actually two women walking along the sidewalk on my side of the road by my sign towards town, just seconds before the crash happened. The impact forced Nichols' car up the elevated lawn of the home across the street, and he did call 911 via his radio for an ambulance. Rudd also can be seen getting out of his cruiser to go check on Nichols, as did at least two passersby. Moments later, members of the Sayersville Fire Department and other responding entities would arrive, with the TranStar ambulance service going on scene 11 minutes after. As for injuries, Constable Rudd did refuse medical treatment at the scene. As you heard Chief Watson say, Nichols was taken to the Pikeville Medical Center, since released, and is recovering, and according to Watson, is hopeful he'll be able to return to work soon.
As we're only 4 days deep into the bright new year, we have a short and brief community calendar for you, but it's, as always, brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau.
And no, that's not this morning's snow in the background, but something reminiscent of what we'll probably be seeing before you know it. The Sayersville First Baptist Church wants me to tell you all they're having a revival tonight and tomorrow night. It started at 6 tonight, but we just, of course, this is our first opportunity to tell you. They wanted to let you know that Reverend Ben Martin of Mouthguard, Kentucky is going to be there, and there's also going to be some special singing. So if you can't make it tonight, you could if you catch the 6 o'clock show and rush out the door in your clothes, I suppose. You're definitely invited to join them tomorrow night as well at Sayersville First Baptist for revival with, once again, Reverend Ben Martin of Mouthguard. And that's it for our calendar. It's not unusual to start off the new year. We'll pick it up, and I'm sure, and have a full calendar and not so far away. Keep in mind that you can get your announcements, birthdays, and anniversaries and the like on the program by mailing them, phone, faxing, Facebooking, emailing them, or dropping them off here at the studio. One of the software upgrades that I also mentioned that I was doing over the course of the break when I left you is one to our website. You can still catch programming the following day, and I'm hoping that I've got that streamlined where it will be on a more regular schedule. So Your News Today can be found at yournewstoday.com, as well as Howard's Cable and Foothills Communications. Turning to funeral service announcements, little 4-year-old Nevaeh Ryan Bauer, who passed away on the 24th, was laid to rest earlier today, the daughter of Nathan Bauer and Pamela Kendrick. Besides her parents, she's survived by brother Braden. Burial was held at the Williams Bauer Cemetery at Beechtree here in McGoffin County. 61-year-old Pamela Fraley McKenzie of Paintsville passed away on the 1st of the year, January the 1st. She was married to David McKenzie, who survives. Visitation is this evening and up until services, which start tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock at the East Side Free Will Baptist Church in Johnson County. Burial will be afterwards at the Price Cemetery at Thelma. The Preston Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements for 61-year-old Pamela Fraley McKenzie of Paintsville. And I'm told services are still being set in honor of 25-year-old Bradley Wallen of Sagersville. Mr. Wallen passed away on Sunday. He's the son of Kearney and Lisa Saylor Wallen. Arrangements once again incomplete at this hour, but to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home.
It is certainly nice to see some home games appearing on the regular season schedule. Almost all of our viewing area teams have been on the road and at various holiday time tournaments. But this past Saturday night, the Eagles of Johnson Central were hosting the boys from McGoffin County, where it's always good for a little district rivalry.
It was the first of two scheduled regular season district matchups for the Hornets and the Golden Eagles of Johnson Central. Central coming into the game with 4 wins and 7 losses, looking for a 5th win. The reverse for McGoffin County, coming in with 7 wins and 4 losses, looking for their 8th win. Early, it will be Johnson Central jumping out to a 9-2 lead off of 3 early 3-pointers by Mason Blair. And even with plenty of support, the Hornets still trailed at the end of one quarter of play, down 5, 18-13. They did make up some ground in the second quarter to end the half up 1 at 29-30 at the break. Brady Whitaker to Tyler Fitzpatrick for 3. Jaron Lovely around and over to Jacob Isaac for 2. Whitaker from 3 feet outside the 3-point arc. And Lovely kicks it back out to Fitzpatrick for another big 3 and a 12-point lead near the end of the third quarter for McGoffin County. But the Eagles come storming back with a 3-pointer by Luke Vance, and Mason Blair takes charge. 30 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, no turnovers for Blair on the night. And a little house cleaning by Cole Crace gives Johnson Central a 71-66 win over McGoffin County. They'll advance to 5-7, and McGoffin County will fall to 7-5.
The Eagles are back on the hardwood tonight. They're also on the road. They're at Pike County Central. That tip-off set for 7:30. Their next game is a home game. They're hosting hometown neighbor Paintsville tomorrow night at 7:30. As for the boys from McGoffin County, they are on the road tomorrow night to South Floyd. They'll travel. And then, starting on the 14th, which is a big gap in between, but starting on the 14th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I count 6 home games in a row between January 14 and 25. That'll be a lot of exciting action to take in. And speaking of the like, the Lady Hornets are hosting Boyd County tonight here at home. The Lady Hornets have 6 wins to their resume thus far into the season and 4 losses, looking to pick up a 7th win tonight. We'll let you know and show you how that one comes out on tomorrow night's program. As for now, let's go into our first Licking Valley RECC forecast of 2016.
And it's by far the coldest forecast I have given you this year. And yes, it's the only forecast. Nevertheless, it was still ranked right among the coldest. Yeah, 13 degrees tonight. Snow showers have been ending with flurries, and we'll see a flake or two flying about till maybe 11 o'clock, but that's it. Nothing like we saw earlier today. And even seeing a few white things in the sky, yeah, we'll go from clear skies, or to clear skies, from cloudy and snowy skies. That's right. We're going to see clear skies, mostly clear tonight, a low of 13, a north wind around 5 miles per hour, becoming calm after midnight. Tomorrow, clear and calm and cold, 35 degrees on your Tuesday. We'll see a light northeast wind to speak of, east at northeast, mostly clear skies tomorrow night with a low back down to the teens. Fortunately, we'll see calm winds tomorrow night prevail, so those teens will feel like teens and not single digits or worse. Midweek, counting the days to the weekend already, are you? Well, we'll see Wednesday roll around. We'll see it with some more sunshine. Clear and calm and still cold, but not as cold. 45 for your high, up and out of the teens for nighttime lows, with 22 expected to be the bottom of Wednesday, but sunny skies during the day and only partly cloudy skies to speak of Wednesday night. We'd see our next chance of precipitation rolling around on this Thursday. We'll start off, though, on a partly sunny note, and I think we'll even see the 50s. Why I have 36 degrees there is beyond me. My apologies. Thursday's daytime high is actually 51 degrees, and it's also under partly sunny skies. And I have just completely got that with another day. My apologies. Thursday, sunny, partly sunny, and 51. A 50% chance of some showers with a low of 38 Thursday night. That will be wet ones and not white showers, mind you. Wow, I mean, that's just completely wrong from start to finish. Well, let's see what I've got for Friday. Maybe I got it right. 55 degrees and a low of 43. Well, miracles never cease. I got Friday right. That is correct. 55 expected by the end of the week. Cloudy skies, showers likely, mainly before 3 in the afternoon, a 30% thereafter on your Friday. We'll have a threat of some showers all the way through your weekend as well. I think Saturday we're still talking mid-50s and at least a 30% chance of some showers early. That'll increase to 50% by that evening and afternoon and evening on your Saturday. And there you have it, 55 and 38. And we'll wrap up the weekend with another 50% chance of showers on Sunday. We'll also do that with a 47-degree day. Not too bad. It's the first show of the new year. It's Monday. Not too many mistakes. Probably fewer than usual.
That's going to put the lid on the first show of 2016. Hard to imagine. We look forward to so many more and hope that you'll be here with us for each and every one. For now, have a safe, warm, and wonderful evening. We hope to check us out back tomorrow. Good night.